Okay, peace, love, and light. Peace, love, and light. If you're here and you see me and hear me well, put a number 9 in the chat. If you hear me and see me well, put a number 9 in the chat. I can already see that my notifications are not going out because I have um, another account. My family members have my account, and my notifications are not going out with them, and it's not going out on my other account either. But I see that someone is in. So if you can hear me and see me, put a number 9 in the chat and let me know that you can hear me and see me well. If you can hear me and see me well, put a number 9 in the chat. If you can hear me and see me, put a number 9 in the chat. I'm going to proceed. So and I don't know like why people come into my lives and just sit here and not participate. Like if that's what you're here for, please excuse yourself. Like if you're here to troll, please excuse yourself. I'm never in the mood for it ever. I don't know why you would join my live and then not let me know that you're here. Okay, so this is for all of those who have asked me to do this video as to how you can start to travel. So many people communicate and they send me emails and they ask, how are you able to travel? How do you even get started? Is they let me know that it's something that um, that they would like to do. So here it is. And I'm going to try to be as quick as possible, but as descriptive as possible because I have, of course, so many other things that I have to do. Okay. So, what I did, and this is from my perspective, people ask how I began and how I got started. And so essentially, what I did was I kept it a secret. That's first and foremost. I did not tell a whole lot of people, and the people that I ended up telling were people that it was who was necessary for me to tell, like my close family members, like my mother, because it's important for her to know, or my sisters. But outside of them, and a couple of other people that I have a close relationship with, I did not tell anyone. I did not tell anyone. And so that's number one. And the reason why I didn't tell a lot of people and I waited until pretty much the last minute to tell my family is because a lot of people, when they are afraid of doing something or they can't do something, whether it be at the moment, or something that they don't foresee themselves being able to do, even in the future, a lot of times they come with low vibrational behavior and they try to say things to prohibit you from doing what you are about to do, which is travel. Okay. So and that's in other things as well, whatever it is that you're about to embark on. A lot of times when people feel like they can't, or they become jealous or envious, and they try to say disparaging things to prohibit you from going forth. So number one, hey BB, hi. Peace, love, and light to you. Thank you for joining. um, and so that's number one. Keep it secret. Don't tell anyone until you are ready. And when you are, I would only tell the people that are necessary. So that's number one. Number two, what I did was I wrote down 9 countries. And why nine? Nine is the highest number. Okay, that's why. My birthday equals a number 9. Okay. So I'm a number 9 life path. And like I said, it's the highest number. And so I chose to write down 9, 9 countries, lands rather, that I wanted to visit. And then out of those countries, I divided them up into countries where I needed a visa and that I did not need a visa. Okay. Of course, the countries that did not require me to have a visa, they were at the top of my list. And so I did that. And then I started to research about each land that I wanted to visit. The culture there, the language there, the accommodations there, the conversion rate between the USD and the currency of that land, um, transportation, food, okay, safety, very, very, very important. And then I started to look at other content creators that had been to those lands to kind of get, and a bit of an idea as to what their experience was there. And then I narrowed my list down again and um, dropped it down to 5. And then from the 5, I dropped it down again to 3, my top 3. Okay. And so once I got it down to my top 3, I started to move to the next step, which was looking up flight, the cost to get there. So flight cost. Um, and then I began to meditate on those 3 lands to see what the spirit was telling me, like where it was telling me to go first. And so, that's what I did. And to get the best price, I stayed up a lot of nights because I found that when I went to look at ticket prices, like in the wee hours of the morning, I would say anytime after 1 a.m. So 2, 3, 4 a.m., I was getting like the best price. And so, that's pretty much what I did. And then once I made my decision on which land that we were going to first, I stuck with that. I did not veer from that. I just stuck with that. And that's another thing, just standing on my square and just saying, well, this is the place, that the universe has, decided for us to go. And that's it. This is where we're going to go first. And we're going to have this experience and we're going to see how it is. Um, the next thing was, of course, making sure that I had a reasonable, of course, amount of funds prior to our departure to that land. I did not travel to Alkebulan with a lot of money. However, I went with just enough according to the type of lifestyle that I like to live, according to my standards of accommodation, and just making sure we had enough food. And then my family size, which is just myself and my son. And so, I did that. And of course, because I was traveling with my son, of course, I made sure that I had all of the documentation that was necessary for the country where I did have to have a visa, or countries that had certain policies that stated, if you're traveling with a minor, which quite a few of them do, that Ghana's one, Tanzania's another one, where I had to show proof that I had permission, to take my son outside of the country. Each situation is different, but gratefully, like, I'm in a situation where I do not have to have the permission of my child's father to take my son anywhere. I have sole legal and physical custody of my son, so it does not require his permission. However, depending upon your custody agreement, if you have shared custody, then of course you're going to most likely need permission from that parent in order to have a visa granted to you, showing that that parent has also agreed that it is okay for you to take the child outside of the country. So it's very, very important that you research these things if you are traveling with minor children or with younger children that are, not considered to be adults. And that you see if that the country, the lands in which you're wanting to travel to, that you've narrowed down, that they, whether they require this or not. Okay. um the next thing, once you've made your decision, you've done, all of your research, you've meditated, you've looked at your ticket prices, you've gotten your funds together, and you're about ready to rock and roll, purchase the ticket and start your adventure. When you are packing, pack light. Okay. Don't be like me. But the reason why, and I can say that actually we did, like, to move our life from America to Al Capitan, and we had two suitcases each, so two check-ins and one carry-on each. I think I did a fabulous job. Okay. But that's because I knew that we were moving. And so that is light when you know that you are actually going to move and settle in a land. If you're just going, on a trial visit, pack light. Okay. Because of course, when you get there, you need to make sure that you have room, um, to buy things, and bring things back with you. But whether you're moving there or you're just visiting, it's still important to pack as light as possible because, of course, unless you want to incur baggage overage fees. Okay. And those fees are mean. They can be upwards of $100 or more, just for being over, you know, 3, 4, 5 pounds. Sometimes they're lenient about it, but sometimes they are not. So it's just important to pack light and make sure that you're staying within the weight requirement of the particular airline that you're flying on. Now, again, if you have a lot of luggage and baggage, and you're going to be over, just know that you're going to you're going to accrue additional fees. Okay. That's just what it is. You're not going to be able to avoid it. So as long as you're prepared to do that, you're going to incur, that's what I meant to say, overage fees. Okay. So now you've done all that. You're ready to get your ticket. Okay. You got all your documents, in order, and it's important to carry those documents with you, whether it's birth certificates, all of those things, because those are the things that you just never know that when you may need them again. So birth certificates, make copies of your passport. It's not safe to carry your passport, your physical passport, around with you. It's a pain when you are abroad and you lose your passport, and you're needing to get a replacement. So it's important to make a copy of your passport so that in the event you're asked to present your passport, that you can just have that copy. Um, so yeah, uh, look also the flight. Okay, the airline in itself. Of course, once you're seeing the flights and you're seeing that it's within your price range, it's really important to make sure that you enjoy your flight over to the land in which you've chosen to visit. It's important that you have a pleasant experience, and so you need to make sure that you're researching the airline as well. Read those reviews and see what the people are saying. That's really important prior to purchasing, of course, the ticket. And then, once you have chosen your airline and you're ready to purchase your ticket, you've packed, um, you know, and make sure that, of course, I like to select my accommodation prior to me purchasing, excuse me, prior to me traveling to the land. So after I have purchased my ticket, the next thing is I'm purchasing my accommodation. I book most of my accommodations on booking.com. I like Booking because it gives me so many wonderful discounts. You can progress up to certain genius levels. So you have, or certain levels. So you level 1, level 2, level 3. And as you climb up each level, you get more discounts. And so I really like booking on my accommodations on Booking because they give me such wonderful, wonderful rates. TripAdvisor is another one. Priceline, all of them, they allow you to compare between various hotels. So that's really important too. Make sure that you're reading those reviews. Okay. If there are any pictures available for your accommodations, I would employ you to also look at those pictures, get a good idea of the type of environment that you're staying in and make sure that it fits your standard. Okay. Another thing prior to traveling to the land that's really, really important is making sure that you're connecting with um, expats that are there, others that are there that have an idea about the culture there, anything that can be helpful, that they can offer because they've been there. So it's important to connect with other expats that are there so that they can help you and be of help. So that's really important as well. So they can help you navigate until you become acclimated with the land. So make sure that you have someone to connect with. It's helpful, especially when you're on the continent and you're in Alkebulan. It's very important to know others because they can offer you contacts. It's important for you to have a local with you that you can trust. Why? Because they know the language, they know the culture, they know the land, they know the prices, and they will stick up for you. They will make sure that you get the best price. They will make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Again, if it's a referral from, another trustworthy, keyword, trustworthy expat. Okay. But the other thing is when you're traveling in Alkebulan or anywhere, but especially Alkebulan, just don't trust anyone, really. Even if, you know, um, a local has been referred to you by an expat, you still need to be very much so aware. It's just a different mentality there. And so it's just important that you keep your guard up. And that's anywhere, of course, keep your guard up. But, don't think that just because that particular person was referred to you that they are trustworthy. Okay. Um, Keep your guard up, be aware, okay, and trust no one until they prove themselves to be trustworthy. Okay. So don't think just because they were referred to you, oh, I can trust them because, oh, sister so and so referred them to me, or brother so and so referred them to me. Don't do that. Don't ever let your guard down. Always be aware. Okay. Also, the next thing, whatever land that you're planning to go to, it's important that you know just the normal phrases of hello, goodbye, thank you, you're welcome. Know how to formulate simple sentences. I need my charger. Know how to formulate pink suitcase. Thank you, buddy. Know how to formulate simple sentences like where is the, okay, that you know how to say how much, things, just simple things. Very, very, very important. Know their measurement system. Like here in Portugal, they go by centimeters. So if you're accustomed, like we're accustomed to feet, 5 feet and so inches. Well, you would have to convert that here to centimeters. So just know, what type of measurement system that they use and utilize. It's important for when you're buying food and things of that nature. So know that. Very, very, very important that you know those things. Thank you. Yeah, so that's, those are the primary things that I did prior to travel moving to Alkebulan. And so that's the advice that I have. That's how we began, and how we were able to continue our travels is just it's planning, the same way. All of those things that I've just mentioned, the aforementioned things, is what I still they're still applicable to my travels today. Each land that you're wanting to go to, if you're wanting to progress to another land, you would do go through all of those same things. Just make sure that you plan, accordingly. Making sure that you're looking up those flights and you're planning ahead of time. Of course, I it used to be like, if you like, the longer amount of time that went in between, when you bought the ticket and when you wanted to travel, like if you did it like in advance, that you would get a better price. But nowadays it's not so. Like even our trip here, you just have to be diligent. Diligence is very, very, very important, right? This is what you want. So what you put your energy towards, the universe will respond. So if you're putting your energy towards, finding the best ticket, and you're really, focusing and concentrating on it, you're going to get what you're looking for. Seeking ye shall find. Um, and so that's what I did even for this one. Like, it wasn't in advance at all. I was looking in advance and the tickets were high as heck. So I was like, okay, this must be just like the standard price to get here. So I kept looking and looking and looking. And then one day, the spirit was like, do it now, look now. Literally, like I heard it clearly. And I looked, it had nine. It had dropped by over five. I had to count. It had dropped by over $500, and I hurried up and booked it just like that. And this was for two, for Josiah and I. So if you're diligent about it, like the rates go up and down, up and down, up and down. So you've got to be like on it like a hawk, to catch those good prices. And if you're with some type of discount club, whether it's AAA and all of that, use all of that like to your advantage, right? Anything that you can do to get those prices down within your range. Also, when you are in the lands, and like, try to live as best like the locals, as possible, but within your standard. Because it's so easy, when you have that USD, and you're going to other countries where the currency is weaker, and you think, oh, I have so much money. I got so listen, it's so many times like when we lived in Tanzania. Okay, and I'm getting 400,000 shillings, and I'm like, Richard, like, you think you have a lot of money, and I'm telling you, like, there have been times like within a few days, I'm like, all of my shillings were gone, like 400,000 shillings. I'm like, what the heck? And that back then, like, I was around like maybe like 176 or something like that, like close to 200, and it would be gone. Okay, so because you thinking I got all these shillings, like I'm going out, I'm living high on the hog, like I'm going to have me some dinner down by the waterfront, like no, like if you really want to make your money last, it's important to treat yourself every now and again. But like if you're constantly like eating out, just understand that that's going to take away from your bottom line. Like it's going to take away your money is going to go really, really fast. So it's important to balance that. Go to the markets, local markets, and cook some of your meals, and so make sure that you have so that you can make sure that you have enough for some other things that you might want to experience, maybe the safaris, and other things that they have to offer. So it's really, really important that you budget well, and that you're not living above your means. And that's applicable anywhere, really. But I am saying that especially when you're in the lands and where the currency is weaker, you really, really have to watch it, because I believe we're more cognizant of it when we're in America. But again, when you're in a country where the currency is weaker than the US than USD, it's very important. It's very easy, to live above your means because you feel like you have more, to spend. But if you continue to consistently like spend money on, going out to eat and, doing all of this unnecessary shopping and things of that nature, you really are going to run into a problem with your cash flow. So everything is about balance. Yes. Did I eat out? Yes, I ate out. But I also balance that with cooking, doing meal preps and things of that nature. So it's important. Like, if you really want to enjoy yourself in these lands, make sure that you are not living above your means. Now, the way that you can continue to travel, like go from one land to the next land to the next land, again, just doing, a bit of research. You could plan your travels where, let's say, on your list, three of the countries are, within East Africa. Well, like I said, you could hit Tanzania. From Tanzania, you can hit Kenya. From Kenya, you can hit, Uganda, then you can hit Rwanda. Like, you can hit all of those countries that are, close together, or that it's easily access, excuse me. So, you know, do that. If you have countries on your list that are close to one another, then, that's a smart way to travel, because once you're done with that one country, then you can hit the other country. So that's what I have. Also making sure that you find a remote gig. I mean, things are shifting. If you don't have your own business, and that's really what I would encourage you to do, but not everybody is a business person or business minded. Some people are just workers. And so if that is you and you're not an entrepreneur and you don't have your own streams of income coming in, then you need to make sure that you can get like a remote gig, and things are shifting. I come from an HR background, and pretty much everybody, the first question now is this remote, fully remote? And so that's also important. If you're wanting to go from one country to the next, just making sure that if you can get a remote gig, and that way it doesn't require you to be in anyone's office, you can pretty much work wherever there is internet available. And that's another thing that should be included, like in your research prior to traveling to the land. Okay, while you're looking at the safety and the culture and the political climate, you need to be looking at communication, what companies where you can get your internet and phone service. All of those things should be included in your research, making sure that the internet is strong in whatever area you're in, especially if you are having to work. Okay. All of those things should be included. Okay, so let me see if anybody has any questions. All right. BB, my Bolt driver says he wants to visit the US, and would 1,000 be enough to get there? I told him, heck no, and told him the things he has to consider when traveling to a country that's more expensive. Absolutely. Like, you can't go to America with just $1,000. I mean, some can. No, I can. You know what? I'm a very optimistic person. People have come to America with nothing, but that's because they were in a situation where they had to get out of their country immediately. So if you're not coming on some asylum, or or where there's an emergency going on in your country and you're feeling like you have to flee, but this is, if you're just planning to move to America, and you thinking you're going to be able to survive just with $1,000 and you don't have anything else lined up, yeah, no, not going to work. Of course, when you're coming over under certain circumstances like asylum, there are programs that they have available to you. There's housing, there's all of those things that they have available to you. But if you don't have any of those things, if that's not how you're coming, the status that you're coming over here and you're just thinking you're going to relocate to America for 1,000, then it's not realistic. It really isn't. Um, it's extremely expensive to live in America. And this is why one of the reasons why you see a lot of Americans coming over to the other Al Cabilon, aka Africa, to live, because the currency is stronger and they know that they can live, for cheaper. Okay. So, you're looking at, I know my place was 2,000 in a, a decent area. It was 2,000 per month, and that's not even including the utilities. Okay. Can you find places for cheaper? Absolutely, but just know that if you're in the lower bracket of rent, you're going to have to consider how safe that neighborhood is. Okay. Or you would have to move further away from the major city. Okay, because the major cities are extremely expensive, and DC is the nation's capital. Is now they're saying that if you make less than 90K, you really will be living in poverty in DC. Okay, just like most of the other major cities. And so 1,000 is definitely not enough. When you transition to America, you want to make sure that, you're not struggling and you're not suffering, or anywhere, not just America, anywhere you're wanting to go to. You don't want to go to that place and struggle. You don't. Or maybe you do, and if you do, have your experience. Okay. But I would hope that you would like to go there, and you would like to live the best life that you can possibly live. That's why you're leaving from your land to the other land. And I would gather that you would want to have the best experience possible. So please be realistic. It's extremely expensive to live in America. The food is expensive. There's inflation now in America. For a pack of chicken, it's like $18. Okay. So just research. If you do your research, you would find out all of these things. Okay. So please don't go over in ignorance. Do your due diligence and research. Joyce Boggs. Okay. Hey. Okay, BB, 250 per extra luggage, but I found out that more than 4 or 5 is not counted. Those are free if they didn't fix the system yet. You mean 4 or 5 pounds over, BB? And it depends on the airline. Some of them are petty as hell and they won't let you go. I've experienced that. And some of them are like, it's okay. So it really depends on the airline. And like I said, if I have a really positive experience on a particular airline, I tend to rebook with them. Again, you want to make sure that you enjoy yourself from the time that you get on the plane to embark on your journey until the time that you get off and go into the land. Like, you want to make sure that you have the most pleasant experience possible. So again, how will you continue to support yourself? A lot of people ask, look for remote gigs. They are there, they are out there. You want fully remote. You want the ones that do not limit you to only being remote within America or within a certain place. You want it fully remote anywhere, as long as you have internet and a computer that you can do your job. Those are the opportunities that you really need to be looking for, and they are there. Okay. This is an applicant's market. Okay. A lot of organizations are losing their employees left and right. So the ball is really in your court. You really have the upper hand. Look for those. If are an entrepreneur and you have multiple streams of income, of course, and your business is based in a particular place, then to make sure that you make just make sure that you have someone that can look after your business, while you're doing all of this traveling. Make sure that you have someone trustworthy. It would be such a pain for you to travel and you think, that the person that you've appointed to look over the business, is trustworthy. And then you get all the way, in another land, and then you find that, they're really not. And then you're having to cut your trip short. So, just making sure that you put your business in the hands of someone that is responsible, and trustworthy. All right. So yeah, there are a lot of things that you can do digitally to make money. Also, look, you can do hostels, you can live with people, you can room with others to cut the cost down. Like if you're really wanting to just travel, there are ways that you can do that. Because hotels are expensive, so you can do hostels where you share a house or a dwelling with others. Renting out rooms, getting roommates and things of that nature, and sharing places with other people to cut down on the cost. Okay. So if you want to travel, you can absolutely do it. There is no one prohibiting you or hindering you but yourself. Okay. So that is what I did when I began my traveling journey. All of those things that I've mentioned are things that are still applicable to my travels. I hope that it has helped you in some way, shape, or form. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section. You can put them in the chat. I'll wait and see if anybody has any other questions. But yeah, that's really how I started my journey, and that's still how I am able to continue to travel. You put away for what's important to you. So again, just making sure that you're not living above your means. You're doing your due diligence, you're doing your research. All of those things are really important to make sure that your traveling experience is pleasant, but also expecting that it's not going to always be pleasant, and preparing yourself for those more adverse experiences as well. Just knowing that things are going to happen. That's why when people ask me about my experience in Tanzania, I tell them I count it all joy, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I counted all joy. Okay. Although some of the things I went through were not joyful at all at the moment, and while I was experiencing them, I did learn a great deal. And so, knowledge is power, and that's my reward. My reward was the knowledge that I gained from those adverse experiences. And that is why I count it all joy. All right. So, does anybody have any questions? Does anyone have any questions? And if you don't have any questions right now, um, you can put them in the comment section, but make sure you like, share, and yeah, like and share and comment. That's pretty much all I ask, is that you like and you share and you comment. Um, but just know that everything is energy. If it's something that you want to do, you can absolutely do it. There is no one that can hinder you or prohibit you from doing it but yourself. Okay. And like I said, operating in the secret place, which that is golden, which is quiet, um, is important too, because a lot of people, they become envious, they become jealous, they try to deter you from doing the things that they are afraid to do or feel that they can't do. So it's important that you operate from the secret place. Tell only who it's necessary to tell. Once you have done your list and you have narrowed it down and you've done your research, stick to it. Okay, stick to it. Don't keep teetering and tottering and going back and forth. Don't do that. Okay, stand on your square and embark on your journey and have your experience. All right. Um, there's a lot of things, like I said, the most important thing I think that prohibits people is the financial piece. And preparation is everything. Because they can do remote work. Of course, you can, if you're a business minded, you can open your business, and making sure that it is something that you can do 100% digitally. Um, they have a lot of digital opportunities, out here that you can just do online, and it doesn't require you to be physically in an office. And so you can do those things, and you don't have to do it, permanently. You can pick up on contracts, and let people know how long you want to work on a particular assignment. Like, there's just so many ways. All you have to do is plan, keep an open mind, and make sure that you work towards what it is that you want. Because if you spend most of your energy and time on doing that thing, the universe will respond. Okay. All right. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. And until next time, you all be good. And if I can think of anything else, which I'm sure I will do another upload, or I'll share it in the comments. I'm sure things will come to me that I feel would be beneficial to those of you all that are embarking, on your journey. Another last thing that I want to say: this is your journey and yours only. It does not have to look like what anyone else says it's supposed to be like. Everybody else has their unique journey and experience. Okay. So do not look at others' experiences and journeys and feel like that is how yours is supposed to go. That's not so. Okay. It's yours. It is yours to have. People like to say, oh, well, this happened because of this, or you're supposed to act this way, or this is how the way it's supposed to go. No, that's not true. That is not true. Everybody has their own unique experience. Everybody has their own journey to embark upon, and it is yours and yours only. Okay. All right. BB, my Bolt driver was thinking about how much money he could make when he got to the US. Sorry, I had to burst his bubble. He thinks that he can be a Bajaji driver. Uh, yes, no, you can't be a Bajaji driver, but he could be Uber. Like, people be like make money on Uber. I met a lady in my hometown in DC who said like she makes 1,000 per week. Like, she hits up all of like the popular spots, like the airports and all of that. She goes where pickups are often, and she works. I think she says she starts at 6 a.m. so she does a 6 to 6, and she makes 1,000. But inflation is here, and in order for him to do that, he has to make sure that he has his paperwork in order and that he has a work permit. Okay. He has to make sure of all of that. And that stuff costs money in itself. But he can also get invited over to the US, and where that person who is inviting him, they have to sign saying that they take they're going to be financially responsible for that individual. So he could get there on that, but then he would have to trust that person will actually be financially responsible for him. And I don't know about you, but I would never want to travel to a place depending upon someone else to financially care for me that I don't. It just, whether even if I knew them or not, like, it's just not something that I would want to do. It's like taking a risk. So, BB, American Airlines is the best, I think. You know what? I say we rode American Airlines, and I can say that we didn't have any problems. Honestly, the best airline that I enjoyed was Ethiopian. First of all, I think the attendants look absolutely gorgeous in their uniforms. I mean, the uniforms are so pretty and beautiful and eloquent and royal looking. The food was really good. I really enjoyed the food on Ethiopian Airlines, and also the customer service. One was so pleasant. So mine was Ethiopian Airlines. But yeah, I can say when we rode American, we didn't have an issue. Yeah, we didn't have an issue at all. So yeah. Hi, brother. Good to see you. Wabantu Academy. Uh, Mambo VP. Habari za leo. Seem you haven't having a best time of life in Lisbon. Yes, Lisbon has been so beautiful and wonderful, and I am just really happy about this experience. I really, really am. So yeah, we're having our experience. We're having our, we're going through this journey right here. Yeah. And hopefully, it'll be put in my spirit to get back over to Alcamulan, Africa. Um, but yeah, I am Alcabilon in Lisbon. I am Alcabilon in Portugal. Okay, wherever I am, Alcabilon is with me because it is a state of being and not necessarily a physical place. So I am Alcabilon in Portugal. Whenever I am in whatever land, I am Alcabilon in Tanzania. I am Alcabilon in Ghana. I am Alcabilon because I am Alkebulan, and Alkebulan is me. Alkebulan is we as a whole. Okay. So yes, I am having a great time. It's really good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're well. Wabuntu Academy. So yes. All right. So does anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? Because I need to go and eat, y'all. So any questions? Any questions? I'll give it a good few seconds or so and see if anybody has any questions. All right. I hope you guys are building your mini self-sustainable communities. No one has sent me anything about them building their mini self-sustainable communities. You'll see something from me very, very soon. But I hope you guys are doing that. Okay. It's crucial that we do that. Crucial that we do that. Okay. We are Alkebulan. Alkebulan is us. Okay. As a whole. All right. Anybody have any questions? All right. All right, you guys. So peace, love, and light. Until next time, you all be good. All right. Oh. Okay, let me see. Wabantu Academy Mambo. Okay, Poa. Okay, good. Missouri. I've been well. How is Mexico versus Portugal? Where you feel more accepted and treated with more respect? Thank you for asking that. Wabantu Academy. Yeah. Okay. So that's actually a really good question. um. Okay. It has been a different experience. Okay. So while all the travels throughout Mexico, so like where have we been in Mexico? We've been to um Mexico City. We have been to Merida. We have been to, so I cut some lights on, it's getting dark. Merida, we have been to Cancun, we have been to Puerto Vallarta. I'm sure I'm probably missing something. But in all of those lands, okay, there wasn't a lot of exposure to heavily melanated people, okay? There wasn't, okay, because in Mexico most of the Afro Mexicans are pushed off into one part, a particular part of the land. And it's the same thing in Costa Rica. Like I said, most of them are in Limon. But um my experience amongst the other, native people there, who are not heavily melanated, has been, like I said, good. They have been well received. They're not elitist about their language, like I experienced in Tanzania. I just, again, they treat us so well. They really truly do. They treat us so beautiful. While here in Portugal, and I like that, we can delve into the Mexican culture and the Mexican food, but also experience some of the food that we're accustomed to, in America. I like a lot of seeing a lot of the pyramids and the sites there. I mean, Mexico has so many beautiful wonders, so many beautiful wonders. And so, I enjoy that. I enjoy the reception, of us in Mexico. Now, while we've been here, I enjoy the layout of the land here in Portugal. I enjoy the weather as well, and I enjoy the weather in Mexico. But let's talk about just the people and the reception of the people and how it's been different. Um, Here in Portugal, like I said, there are a lot of melanated people from the Melanite Nation. Of course, everyone has melanin, including the pelicans. They just have very little. I'm talking about us, okay? Um, and some of them were born in Africa and then they've migrated over here, and some of them were born here, okay, in Portugal. What I find is amongst now that I have the opportunity to be amongst a lot of my Melanate um, sisters and brothers is that the ones particularly that were born in Africa and that are here, you know, or their parents were born in Africa and their children were born here, they they really don't like they haven't been receptive. They really haven't. And we've noticed that. Like, when I'm walking by them and we see them everywhere because they are everywhere. And we get excited, you're trying to make eye contact to kind of see, what kind of vibe or whatever. And what I've noticed here is that they'll stare. Like I catch them staring at me and my son all the time. And then when I go and I make eye contact and I smile, they look away. They look away. Or, when we're walking by, they don't make eye contact. They don't. This has been our experience. Okay. It's like no unity, no connection there, nothing. That is what I have experienced here amongst those that are heavily melanated. And I don't know what that is all about, but that has been my experience. But I find that everybody is very welcoming and you know, receptive and accepting when we're in Mexico. So I feel at this juncture that we have been more well received amongst the natives in the Latin community, more so than here amongst our own, that are also from the Melanite Nation. So that's really been, my experience. We haven't had anything that's been grossly, disrespectful, and we hope we don't. But the Europeans that they do their own thing. We see they do stare. We see them staring every now and again, but they do their own thing. No one has been, it's been, I read energy, so when I read that kind of racist kind of energy, I'm on guard and I just remove myself from it because I know me. I'm a no tolerance. But no, nothing has been grossly, disrespectful, here. But we really just enjoy um the overall energy of the place and the layout of the land. There are a lot of things to do. There's a lot to explore. There is a lot to learn as it relates to the Moorish history here, which is something that I am extremely interested in, and I definitely want to delve into heavily. So yeah, so I can to answer your question, I feel like that we have been more well received amongst, the people of Mexico more so than the heavily melanated people here in Portugal. We really haven't had any interactions other than going into local shops and with um Caucasians here. We really haven't. I mean, we just, we see them, they walk by or, they're out doing their thing, but we really haven't had any like long lasting, conversations with them or anything like that. Like we just, or any conversations other than, again, when we're going into certain cafes and things of that nature. And those cafes that we have gone into that are owned by them and operated by them, we have been treated very well. We really have. And I can say that. So I hope I answered your question. All right. Let me see. TRC Squared Consulting. Aburi Ghana is building a sustainable community. Yeah, is that the one where, I mean, are you talking about the one in Aburi where they gave off? You're not talking about where they assigned, like, the government gave land to the diaspora. Is that the community that you're talking about? Or you're talking about something totally different. And I don't even know if that land was in that area, but that's wonderful to hear. I love Aburi. I love Aburi. It's like my favorite place in Ghana. So that's beautiful. And I want to look that up and see like how they're progressing. That's really good to hear. Thank you. Tony Africa, thanks. Oh, you're welcome. No Limit Eddie. Hi. Hi, No Limit. I am watching ad now. Okay. Welcome. Welcome. Good to see you. Anja Africa. Greetings, sis. Peace, love, and light. So wonderful to have you here. I love what you're doing. You guys, check out Anja Africa. She is a sister, beautiful sister, very intelligent. She's over in Gambia. She has her own business. I think it's called Waste Not, Want Not. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you are in Gambia, please hit her up. Go and patronize her shop. And she is doing so beautiful over there in Gambia. And we will meet soon, sis, because Gambia is still on our list. We shall meet soon. So good to see you. Love what you're doing. Love what you're doing. Thank you, Eddie. Yes. Hit that like button for me. Thank you. DC, Hell Up Mahogany. I follow Stephanie Perry, whom I'm sure you're familiar with. She encourages Black women to live a life of ease instead of the life of struggle. She also debunks Black excellence. Yes, I have seen that sister. I have seen her with the big, beautiful afro when she wears her hair out. Absolutely. That strong Black woman thing, and that superwoman thing, although, all of those, heroic characters are fashioned after us. They're based off of our history. We are those superheroes. However, it puts us in a compromising space to, of high stress, and not being vulnerable, especially us as the divine feminine. We're operating too much in the masculine space, trying to be that strong Black woman and trying to be everything for everybody, and while neglecting ourselves, and shrugging off the thing that makes us the most beautiful, which is our divine feminine characteristics. So I am all for that. It is definitely time for us to drop that cape. It is time for us to get back in balance. I love that. And yes, I am very familiar with her. TRC Squared Consulting. No, this is Grace City. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna look it up on YouTube. Grace City in Aburi. Okay, I'm definitely gonna look it up. Wabantu Academy. Thanks so much for sharing your experience, Dada. Asante sana. Karibu sana. Karibu sana, kaka. So yes, yeah, that's what I have. You can travel. This planet of ours was meant for us to travel, explore, and experience. To travel, explore, and experience. And don't let anybody tell you any different. Don't ever allow anyone to tell you where you can and cannot go. No one has the authority to tell you that, for this is your planet. And you need to know that. This is your planet. You're indigenous to every part of this place. It started with you. It's going to end with you. Everything comes back around. Okay? So You can do whatever it is you want to do. You can go wherever it is you want to go. Have your experience and know that it is yours and yours alone. It does not require anyone else's permission or validation. It does not have to look like what anybody else says it has to look like. Okay? I just remember so many sisters were so afraid to comment about their experiences in Tanzania, and it made me so angry and so upset that their throat chakras were being shut down by lying, conniving other expats that were too cowardice to speak the truth, and they were projecting that onto other sisters, and it caused the other sisters to become afraid to speak about their real experience in Tanzania. No one should ever have the power or authority to shut down your throat chakra. Tell your story exactly the way that it went. If it wasn't pleasant, it wasn't pleasant. And Alkebulan is not untouchable. It is in no way perfect. It has its flaws. So please take it down off of the pedestal. Okay? All right. So if there are no other questions, and if you think of any questions later, please put them in the comments. Okay? All right. I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will continue to share. We Unity is it. Just unity, unity, unity. We are Alkebulan. Unity. We are Alkebulan. It is a state of being. Wherever we are, that is where Alkebulan is. Remember that. I am you, you are me, and we are we. We are all we have. We are all that we have. Know that. Love one another. Love them as you love yourself. Love them. And again, if you're dealing with contentious spirits that are just hell bent on being that way, I'm not talking about them. It's okay to distance yourself from them. But whoever you can create with and build with, that's on your frequency, that's vibrating on your level, do that. Do that. Okay? You are my reflection. All right. Peace, love, and light. Okay.